Waiting. All right. We are live, Tansley Stearns. How are you?
It's so good to see you, my dear friend.
Good to see you. Happy summer. We were just talking about our summer plans and stuff before we went on live, and sounds like you are having a great time with your family, and as we are out here in San Diego, but we're just kind of enduring the heat a little bit, but it's all good. It's all good.
It is. I always say we have to celebrate, not so much for you, but in Michigan, whenever someone complains about the heat, I'm like, no. In 4 months, we're going to be so sad to not feel this heat. So just enjoy it.
Just remember that month called February and March.
Right.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. No, you guys have a beautiful state. I was up there recently for the Michigan Credit Union League conference. And oh my God, from Traverse City, I believe it is. Oh my gosh. Gorgeous up there. Mm-hmm. So yeah. You guys have nothing to sneeze at in that state. It is beautiful there. So yeah,
it is.
As you well know. All right. Hey, let's talk about something a bit more on a serious note here. And it's a movement that you guys are undergoing or conducting at Community Financial. It's called Choose the Bear. And I read your article, your blog post, whatever you want to call that these days. But it was really moving. And it's pretty cool that you guys are doing this. But I'm going to let you explain what Choose the Bear is, this movement that you guys are doing at Community Financial. So what is it, Tansley? Can you share with us what's going on here?
I can. And I would begin with saying that, when our team member who came up with the idea behind this movement brought this idea to me and to our leadership team, part of what was so emotional for me was that this person had really heard us. I've been here just a little over 2 years at Community Financial, and as you know, have a really strong background in innovation and creativity. And that's, I think, a critical part of our culture. And you can say those things, and sometimes people believe you and sometimes they don't. And I think a really good signal of that belief is when someone does raise their hand with an idea as bold as this and brings it forward. And so that, I think, is a really important part of this story, which is it was brought to life by one of our team members. And this team member saw some of the important work that we've been doing. There's an organization called First Step that I'm on the board of, although our organization, Community Financial, has been partnering with them for years and years before I came. And First Step is an organization that supports those that have been impacted by domestic and sexual violence. And we've actually been doing some really cool pilot programming with them to build some of the financial tools that could be helpful for those that are impacted negatively in this way. And what we know is that the financial implications of domestic and sexual violence are real. And if we could be a partner in that, that could help those that wish to leave be able to do so. And so the individual that brought this idea to life said, I've been listening to some of the work we've been doing. I think that there's a story to share here, and we as a credit union could make a bigger impact if we were telling this story, and came up with all the creative behind it and all the very thoughtful ideas about how we might carry this forward. And we really see this truly as a movement that we can play a bigger role here. So I could go on for days, but that's the really beautiful part, I think, of this story, is that it was sparked by somebody saying, hey, they say they want to hear my ideas. Let me bring that idea forward.
Yeah. And the way it's described on the website too, is it's financial lifelines to help domestic violence and sexual abuse survivors pivot their economic outlooks for the better, which is so in the credit union wheelhouse, as you well know. And you guys at Community Financial always take it to the next level. Kudos to you guys for doing this type of stuff. So you kind of stole my thunder on my next question, because I was like, how did this come about for Community Financial? So you already talked about what sparked the idea, but can you share maybe some numbers that's going on out there, just to kind of lay the foundation here? Because it's pretty tremendous what's going on out there, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, so the first thing that I would say is that there is this viral question, right?
Let's get to the Choose the Bear part. And my apologies. What's the Choose the Bear? What does that mean?
So there's this viral question that's been happening on social channels that asked women if they were to meet a bear or a strange man in the woods, who would they choose? And unfortunately, overwhelmingly, the answer to that question has been the bear. And it's interesting, you mentioned the piece that I wrote. I mentioned in that piece that as I shared this with some of the men in my life, many of them very practically went to the answer of, well, Tansley, that's not really right because a bear is much more dangerous. And what I very kindly shared back is, well, for those of us, and I share in that piece one of my personal experiences of running and having a very scary situation almost come to fruition. And so if you've had one of those experiences, there's a reality behind why women would choose the bear. And, to your point, when you start to think about the statistics, they are really alarming in terms of the impact to women. 1 in 2 women have suffered unwanted sexual contact. 94% of sexual assault survivors are women. 1 in 2 women suffer intimate partner violence. It's very real and significant. And the economic impact is also very real. And so we do think that there's an important role to play from a financial institution standpoint. When you think 94 to 99%, depending on the statistics you look at, of women suffer economic abuse, there is a role for a financial institution to play. And, I've had people sort of come back to me on this and say, well, Tansley, what is it that you're asking your team to do? Are you asking them to be social workers? And I would say no, although I would point to some really interesting Feline Research Institute research that shows that those that work for credit unions are often very much closer in their drivers to social workers than a salesperson. And that's not what we're doing here, right? We are a financial institution. At the end of the day, that's the work that we do. What we do know, though, is that we think, an important financial role to play in helping those that wish to make different choices make them.
Yeah. I mean, this could literally save lives. So, getting to the extreme part of it, for sure. So having said that, so how have you guys incorporated this mindset into your financial services offerings? What are you guys doing for folks out there who are, or women rather, who are involved in a situation like this?
Yeah. So one of the really quick and easy things that we've done is just make some shifts to our website to provide some resources for those that might wish to make a change. And even a tiny thing on our site that allows someone that might be looking at our website to get the site to go away really quickly, which is something that the folks at First Step shared with us that we could do. And so finding those resources, I think, is a really important first step. And then, as I mentioned, we're doing this pilot. So we have already 17 pilot loans. The average loan size is just over $3,300. And these are things from down payments for cars, securing safe housing, those resources so that people can make those important changes that they wish to make. And we've gotten such great feedback from those that have participated in the pilot. And we see that as one of the ways that we can continue to help.
Yeah, no doubt. And so what does it look like from a member's perspective or a survivor's perspective, looking at this financial lifeline? Because there's a section on the website I'm looking at right now, path to recovery. You have like safety plan, save up, improve cash flow. And there's all sorts of really cool tips and advice and things like that you guys are helping these folks with. You're kind of arming them with information that they can use to get out of the situation.
Yeah. And we see this as continuing to grow. We wanted to walk into this. We did think that it was important to act relatively quickly because there's some timeliness to the conversation that we feel we can be a part of and connects closely to work we were already doing. I think that's an important point to make, is that this didn't come out of the blue. That partnership with First Step is something that's been growing for years and years. And what we're excited about is that First Step is located in the southeastern Michigan region. We've been able to extend some additional partnerships because we have branches in our northern region. And as we've talked to those potential newer partners, some of what they've shared with us is, oftentimes organizations are very willing to maybe participate financially. What we've heard that I feel so proud of in terms of what our team is bringing to life is that we're walking with those organizations and with survivors to build these tools. And so, these loans that we've piloted, I think, are a really important way that we're walking into that. We think that there's more. And as we continue to partner with organizations like First Step, we know that there's more that we can build.
Yeah. Let's look at it from your credit union's perspective.
Yeah.
I mean, how does it impact your crew, your team there? Because I would think this, I always, whenever I think of a credit union, this saying comes in my head, it goes way deeper than a transaction.
Yes.
So, and this one takes it to a whole new level, obviously.
Yes.
But what's the impact on your team so far?
There's a few things. So first of all, I love to share this story because it does, from an innovation and culture standpoint, emphasize how serious we are about listening to ideas and bringing those ideas forward.
Yeah.
And so that, I think, is a wonderful story of impact. And I anticipate we'll get more ideas because we do this listening and we use that listening to carry our strategy forward.
Yeah.
I also think that it's important for our team. I've had team members come to me once we launched this to say that they've had impact in these ways, unfortunately, and they're very proud to be part of an organization that is carrying this forward. I also think it's an important conversation for us to be having as an organization because we truly do believe in belonging. That's core to our values. And when we're letting people know that we're going to stand with them in these darker moments and be brave enough to talk about those, I think that continues to emphasize why this is a really great place to work. And that not only do we listen to ideas, we talk about those hard things, and we're going to move forward in ways that change the world.
Yeah. Talk about making a difference. Oh my gosh.
Without question.
Oh my God. And if this happens to one of your team members or a friend or family or something like that, oh my gosh, we can help. Our credit union can help. I mean, what a great resource that is. And you also call Choose the Bear the next evolution of the credit union's commitment to doing good for your community. Can you expand on this just a little bit? Because obviously all credit unions want to do good in their community. But again, I think what you guys are doing here is on a whole new level.
It really ties to what I mentioned earlier in terms of those darker moments. And we've spent the last 2 years really thinking deeply about those. And that can be uncomfortable. It's challenging. It can feel very personal for those that have experienced those situations. Yeah. And we think it's a true differentiator. And it's really very closely tied to why credit unions exist. These darker moments, whether it's divorce or cancer or death, or in this case, domestic and sexual violence, they all have financial underpinnings. Yeah. And unfortunately, there are times where sometimes loved ones walk away because they are so dark and hard to face. So if we can be a partner that walks with people through those, we know it can truly be a place to have that dark moment, be able to find a place of light eventually. Yeah. And if we can walk with people in those darker moments, we can also celebrate the lighter ones when they come to fruition.
Indeed. Yeah. Talk about that light at the end of the tunnel. Oh my gosh. Yes. If there's no truer saying, this is one of them for sure. Yes. All right, let's talk about the future here. So how does this movement evolve and grow? Because obviously right now you guys are just in the infancy, and I think it's going to do some tremendous things in your community. So how do you see it evolving and growing?
Yeah. So as I mentioned, we think that there's an opportunity to have more partners. So organizations that are serving those that are impacted, and maybe even some other pilots to test other ideas that can help us. We want to continue to listen to survivors. We truly do believe that innovation is grounded in that human-centered design. And we've been so fortunate to have survivors be willing to listen to our ideas, share their biggest challenges, and be able to co-create those solutions and test those. So I anticipate that there will be more of that. And just continuing to really tell this story, we want to be that resource for those that are impacted. And as you know, I believe that we've never, as an industry, told our story as well as we could. And we want to make sure that we do shout this from the rooftops because we want to be there for those that need us most.
Completely. Yeah. I think the more aware we are of things like this, the more we're able to help. Yes. So, because a lot of times people don't talk about this type of stuff. Absolutely. But you guys are putting it front and center. So kudos to you on that one once again. So, all right, Tansley, I know you have a super busy schedule. I don't want to keep you too long, but anything else to add to wrap up on this one?
No, I just want to thank our team. I'm so honored to be walking with them with their creativity and their heart and passion. And I'm so proud of the work that we're bringing forward and can't wait to see where it takes us next.
Indeed, indeed. All right. And as a dad of girls and married to a wonderful wife, this story hits home personally for me. So whenever I see stories like this or what credit unions are doing like this, let's get them on the show and let's get the word out. And maybe this will spark some similar or new ideas at other credit unions as well. So, because that's what we do, we collaborate. So this is
Absolutely
a pretty cool thing. Pretty cool thing.
Well, thanks for asking and letting us share a little bit of the story, Mike.
Oh my
We're
gosh.
super appreciative.
My pleasure. My pleasure. And you guys, I know it goes without saying, but keep up the good work. All right.
We sure will.
All right. Well done. And that is almost it.
Yay!